Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the next edition of Party on Broad. POB can be found on iTunes and Spotify. Smash that subscribe button, guys. If you guys are here watching us at the Painted Lions YouTube channel, today we are talking about Tyrese Haliburton, one of the top prospects in the 2020 NBA draft. And joining us today is my man, the shot doctor, Austin Krell. Follow him on Twitter at KrellTPL. How you doing, man?
I'm taking my pulse. Why? Because I have a PhD in what, you might ask? It's simple. The art of jump shot.
All right. Way to lead us off, Austin. Also joining us today is my man, Thiago. He is at TScabia on Twitter. How you doing, Thiago?
I'm doing great, man. And I got a question for the shot doctor here because I have Lakers Bucks on TV.
I do not offer any consultations during the time of the virus. Please wear your mask when you speak. Okay? Thank you.
Just help me understand Giannis's jump shot because this one bounced off the top of the backboard. So
when it bounced off the top of the backboard, you usually have backspin, but it hits off the back of the rim. As it pops up, it's going to hit the top of the backboard. It's going to come down. What I would usually recommend in that scenario, in order to get less of a line drive out of it, is bring that shooting wrist back a little bit because his is more of like an out in front shot as opposed to like a rise up and kind of shoot shot. So if you bring it back a little bit, you'll get more arc under it, and therefore you'll have more like a rainbow as opposed to like a cannonball.
I love it. You can't get this anywhere else, man.
How much money is that going to cost us? Jesus, how much budget on this on Party on Broad, dude? I'm a little worried now.
Evan Turner hired the wrong guy.
All right, let's get this back on track. Today we are talking about Tyrese Haliburton. Make sure you check out my man Austin. He wrote an awesome breakdown on Tyrese Haliburton. You can read the full breakdown at thepaintedlines.com. Check out all of our NBA draft scouting reports over at thepaintedlines.com. How you doing, Austin? And talk to us a little bit about this guy. Who is this guy?
Who is he?
Who is?
I haven't talked to him yet. I haven't really met him. I've heard good things. He goes by Ty Haliburton 22 on Twitter. That's that. No, I think he's one of the smartest players I've evaluated so far in this draft. I don't think he has what it takes to be like a star in the NBA at any point. He's not like a massive, like big time scorer. He's not like this big name, multi-positional two-way player. What he is, he's a very high IQ player. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, very patient, very attentive to detail. And his game is getting smoother. It's still not 100% smooth, but it's getting smoother. I think he has a chance to stick around the league for a while. Not because he'll be like, a box score stuffer or a stat sheet stuffer, but because he plays the game the right way and he has the size and the versatility to play multiple positions. You can mix and match him with multiple different lineups. And I think that's very attractive in today's NBA.
All right. That is a little bit about Ty Haliburton. Let's talk about his strengths. I'll lead us off. For me, I think this guy is a ideal modern NBA player. I think this is one of the most complete NBA prospects in this entire draft class, dude. He's got great size for the point guard spot. He oozes basketball IQ. I'm glad you brought that up. That's the first thing that really pops up. But this guy is unselfish, maybe to a little fault. But he impacts the game on multiple levels. He can defend 1 through 3. He can play off the ball. He can hit an open 3. He's a good rebounder. So in a league where like versatility and positionless basketball is king, I just love this guy's fit in the modern NBA. What about you, Thiago?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that teams like Boston end up drafting and end up being a pain in the ass for the next 10 to 15 years. Like, where the hell did this guy come from?
Facts, girlfriend, facts.
Yes. You talk about his versatility. I went back and I just did some quick numbers. List of players in the last 10 years to have a greater than 3.5 steal percentage, greater than 35 assist percentage, greater than 60 true shooting percentage, and scored over 300 points. There's only 2 players in college basketball to ever do that in the last 10 years in one season. So it touches a little bit on everything you guys talked about with his versatility. He's a guy who you watch him play, he absolutely loves to pass the ball. I think he loves to get his teammates involved. He loves to see guys thrive in transition and near the rim. And it shows again on his numbers because he went from a 17.3% assist rate to a 35.3% assist rate from his freshman year to his sophomore year. So I think he's a guy who's a lot of fun to play with. You can, like Austin said, you can play in multiple lineups. You can go big, you can stay on the court. If you want to go small, you can stay on the court. So when you talk about the modern NBA game, he is the guy you want to look at.
All right. Any strengths that we missed or anything you want to touch on, Austin?
No, I mean, I think he's a really high IQ passer. He is remarkably adept and capable as a pick and roll passer. He always he's very good at feeding the ball in front of a roller instead of like to the side or behind the guy, and it makes it that much easier to run the offense. And so I don't think he's like the most exciting person in the world. He's not going to light you on fire. But he's a guy who you're going to be able to look back on and say, I respect his game because he plays it the right way.
All right, let's move on to weaknesses. I'll lead us off. Biggest weakness for me, and I think Austin, you are the shot doctor, so you've done a lot more research and watched more tape on this guy than I have. But
lay it on me.
Yeah, I'm not positive about this guy's mechanics with this guy's jump shot. His release seems slow. Austin, do you think this guy is going to have trouble getting off his own shot in the NBA?
Well, he's not going to have trouble getting off someone else's shot in the NBA. That's for damn sure. I think his release is weird because at some point, mostly in like the pull-up area, he tends to sort of, how about I say it? He tends to almost like it's smoother, which is weird because when you usually have somebody who's working on developing a jump shot, like he has been, you're going to see it a lot more smoother from a set shot standpoint because you're in the gym working late hours, catch and shoot, and you have like one of those machines that pumps the ball out to you and shoots it and gets the rebound. That thing usually going to be more smooth with your set shot mechanics, whereas with him it's the release point's higher, smoother when he's off the dribble. And it's only when he's going to the left, which is kind of odd because he's right-handed.
Sounds like a little like Markelle Fultz a little bit.
I don't want to put that kind of pressure on a man. Good Lord.
You know what I mean, though, right?
We don't talk about that man.
You just jinxed one of the most exciting players.
He was going to be so good, and then you just did that.
Oh, my God. Cut this podcast. I actually want to enjoy this guy play. I want to have Markelle Fultz.
But then when he gets to the set shot, it's like two different motions. He needs like a while to load it up. It's almost robotic. So I mean, as like a set shooter in the NBA, he's gonna have to quicken that up very fast because it's gonna get blocked a lot. And then he's not a shot creator. Like he's not that quick, not that athletic. The reason he's able to create shots at the college level is because of his length, but everyone's long in the NBA. So he's going to be an easier cover, and he's not that fast. He's not going to beat anybody. So he's going to have to find a way to smoothen out that jump shot, across like an equal playing field almost in order to really be able to shoot jump shots. And that was brought to you by the Shot Doctor. Get your jump shot right today.
That is at CrowlTPL on Twitter. All right, Thiago, what's a weakness of Mr. Halliburton?
Yeah, so I think Austin did a great job summarizing it. My fear is that a team's going to draft him and want to turn him into a strictly point guard. And yes, he can be a secondary ball handler, but he's not a kind of guy who's going to get to the rim. He's not going to guy who's going to, beat guys off the dribble like Austin so well mentioned. I also think that he may need to add a little bit more size if he wants to be a multi-positional defender, specifically at the 3 and 4. I think there's some bigger forwards there he may have a trouble with anchoring down and defending on the ball. But yeah, I think those two things kind of stand out for me as a possible downside to his game for sure.
All right, let's talk about best fits. Lead us off, Austin. Who do you think is the best fit for Tyrese Haliburton?
I think the Golden State Warriors make a lot of sense for Tyrese Haliburton, but only at the caveat that their pick falls to like 4, 5, 6. The reason I think that is because he would benefit so much to learn in the same backcourt as Steph Curry, but also Thiago's giving me the smile, like yeah. But I also think that the way that they utilize Sean Livingston would be so beneficial to him as well, which is why I think that they would be a good fit for him.
What about you, Thiago?
I love the fit in Atlanta. First of all,
everyone goes to Atlanta. They don't have 18 draft picks.
I know, right? We didn't touch on the podcast, but like he's a really good passer off the pick and roll. And they have two guys, Capella and John Collins, who are great rim runners. So I think it'd be interesting to see how they would work him and Trae Young in the backcourt. I would like to see Trae perhaps do a little bit more off the ball, off the catch stuff. He carries a big load for that Atlanta offense, and maybe alleviating some of that load may help his game even more. And also, like we also didn't touch on it, but like his defensive potential is really, really high. And again, pairing him with Trae and DeAndre Hunter, two guys that can really kind of make up for Young's shortcomings on defense may be a good thing for Atlanta. The question is, like, does Atlanta have the appetite for another young guy who doesn't really know what the hell he's doing on the court? They seem to be like getting more and more veteran guys in there to kind of get some cohesion. But I would definitely take a shot on him for sure.
The team I'm looking at is the New York Knicks. The Knicks have the sixth best odds in the NBA lottery. And that's kind of like really right where Tyrese Haliburton, for me, I have him going. And you look at the Knicks were one of the worst teams in assists per game. The Knicks were one of the worst in assists to turnover ratio and offensive efficiency. I just see this guy's IQ just being kind of the guy, like a stable, rock for the New York Knicks moving forward. So any final comments on Tyrese Haliburton, Austin?
Go Cats.
All right. Make sure you check out Austin's full breakdown on Tyrese Haliburton. You can check that out at thepaintedlines.com. Check out Blue Root TPL on Twitter for everything.
Don't give it too much responsibility or attention. It might be dangerous.
It's true. Make sure you follow Austin on Twitter at KrellTPL. Check out the Feed to Embiid podcast. That is at the Feed to Embiid. Covers everything Philadelphia 76ers and the NBA. And check out my man, Thiago, on Twitter. He is at TScabia. For Austin, for Thiago, for myself, thanks for watching, guys.
And the Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me